I'm back from the expo, so that means it's back to projects. So I got the deer back. It's been in the shop since I've been at the expo, actually before I even went. And this final drive went out, so they replaced that one, and then while they were checking that one, the seal on the back side had a leak as well. The final drive had some wear on it, but there was a bearing in there that they said was bad, and they were going to try to just replace the bearing or something like that in there, but they couldn't get it disassembled. They couldn't get just the bearing. It all came as like one assembly as part of the final drive, so they ended up putting a new final drive in that one too. So I got 2 new final drives in this thing, which I'm going to go and tell you right now was not cheap, but had to be done. Here's what it is. Back to work. But I like these new final drives actually have these hubs on the front where you can actually check the oil in them a lot easier. The old ones, they were on this side, and it was really hard to check the oil in them and even fill them up. So, well, this is today's project. Let's get into that. So I cut this lot 1 year ago, and it is right at about 1 year. I don't know the exact date, but it's been right at about 1 year. So this is 1 year of just unmitigated growth, and this is about 1 acre. I think it's a little less than 1 acre in here, and the property line's about where that big tree is. It goes straight back, and it's just a nice little square. The big thing in here is there's just a lot of trees. There's a lot of trees to work around, but there's nothing really super big in here, and right in there in the middle where there's a lot of shade, it doesn't look too overgrown. Where there's been a lot of sun, that's where the growth seems to be the worst. So I'm gonna try to cut this thing kind of either going in this direction or straight back that way, and that's gonna kind of be the plan, the goal. So that's what we're here to do. I have been cutting this one on the adjacent side over there. That's the jungle lot over there, but that lot just got sold, and I have yet to get up with whoever the new owner is about maintaining it. So I don't know if I'm gonna be cutting that one anymore or not. But I did get to go ahead finally on this one after 1 year to do it again. So let's see how it goes. So I'm gonna crank this bad boy up, and we're gonna get to it, knock it down. All right, one final thing, because I get this comment a lot. You're gonna see me in this lot back up a lot. The reason why is you can't, like if I were to go in, I can't turn around and cut back facing this direction. There's parking lots, there's a street out here. You can't do that. That rotary cutter throws crap everywhere. I wouldn't even do that with a mulcher. So I can't cut facing back this direction, and I can't cut going that way because there's another street right there. So everything that I cut right here really has to kind of be in either this direction, going back that way, or going back that way. There is a building right back there. There's a big tall hedgerow that kind of protects it back that way. So I don't really have to worry about it too much. So that's the way it has to be cut. So you'll probably see me kind of go in and then back up, go in, back up, and that's just what you got to do. Also, when you back up, I'm laying that head down and backing up, and it's helping mulch down and grind up all the stuff that I just came through and cut. So it actually helps process everything down, makes a nicer finish, and helps just recut and process it and just get it all down into the ground and on the ground. So that's the other reason backing up really kind of helps in this regard as well, especially when you're dealing with a little thicker and bigger stuff like in the middle there. So you're gonna see me back up a lot. Everyone's like, why are you backing up? That's inefficient. If this was out in the middle of nowhere, I would point that thing any way I wanted to, but with these streets and stuff, you can't do it. I mean, you could, but when you fling something out and it hits a car or something like that and your liability insurance is paying for it, you won't do it again. So, all right, let's get started. Well, that's that. Looks good. One thing I got to do is just grab the weed eater and clean up around this light pole. But everything else is done. And I don't, for this lot, I don't have to clean up around. I don't have to take like the brush, the little hedge trimmer around and clean up around the trees. That's not part of the deal here. All I have to do is just brush cut this and make it look cut, bush hog mowed and maintained. Basically, that's, they don't care about this stuff around the trees. Over there, I was doing that because that lot was for sale, and that was something that the owner kind of wanted there in the front to kind of keep that cleaned up and opened up. But over here, I'm just doing the bare minimum for the city ordinances to keep this maintained, and that's all it is. So the city doesn't care about some of these vines and stuff growing around these trees. They don't care about that. They just want to see it basically like mowed. So that's really it, you know. So, and just keep it open and maintained and open, so you know they don't have issues with people coming in here and, you know, building encampments or living in here, and that, you know, that thing. So when I started this, it wasn't raining, and then we had a little shower come through, and it's kind of been drizzling, so to speak. And it's funny because the last time I cut this lot, it poured down raining on me, and I actually had to stop for a bit and then come back and kind of finish it because I was filming the whole thing. So, but yep, that was 1 year growth in here, and cleaned it up nicely. So that is that. The machine, those new final drives definitely sound a lot different than the old ones. Let me clean this up a little bit. There we go. Yeah, the new finals in this thing definitely sound a little different. It definitely seems like it's going to take a little while to maybe kind of break them in. They're very smooth, but it doesn't seem like they're quite as quick as the old ones were, but maybe because the old ones had 2,500 hours on them, I don't know. But they're working great. So I'm gonna clean the mess off the front of this thing, and I'm gonna get out of here because I'm getting rained on right now. So, but I got a lot of stuff coming up. We're going back out to the impound job tomorrow, where I did all that cutting around that in the ditch work around that impound. We're gonna cut some more trails out there, and then I've got a bunch more mowing to do on some of the other properties around that I've got. And then I got a mulching job coming up on another job that you guys have seen. So, and then I'm still trying to get a hold of the new owner for this lot to see if they want me to continue to maintain it. That's up in the air at the moment, but hopefully. So yeah, this was the Jungle 2.0 lot. If you guys remember back on my channel, I called this because that was the original Jungle lot, and this was Jungle 2.0. So the last time I cut this lot, man, this stuff was like, some of it was 20 feet tall in here. I mean, it was insanely tall. It took me a while to cut this down. I thought this job, when I first did it, was never going to get done. It was never going to end. It was kind of a pain, and then just working in around all these trees is just kind of a pain. But yeah, so I know somebody's going to say something about backing up, but you know, safety is the #1 thing on my mind when doing these jobs with that brush, especially with that brush cutter. Because that thing, I have seen that thing chuck a whole chunk of wood 60 yards, 60 plus yards. There's a dent in my tailgate right now from like the second job I ever did with this thing, and the truck was parked like 60, 70 yards away, and it hit a piece of like wood and chucked it straight as an arrow right into the tailgate of my truck. And that's when I kind of learned better. So you can't just point that thing. It's not a lawnmower. You can't just, you know, or a bush hog behind a tractor. You can't just drive around, point that thing in any direction when you're cutting with it. It will hurt somebody. You'll damage somebody's property or car, or, you know, you can kill somebody. So I don't care if you like me backing up or not. Safety is the #1 thing on my mind when I'm running that thing. So again, it can be kind of time consuming in here, but you know, if you were to just kind of go around and not have to worry about pointing in any direction, you would have saved 15 or 20 minutes on this little job doing it, you know, the most efficient way. It wouldn't have saved you a whole lot of time. So why wouldn't you just you know, do it the safe way. And, you know, what's 20 minutes? I mean, who gives a crap? So, well, that's that. I'm out of here. I will check you guys later. I got more stuff coming up, so stay tuned. And if you guys got any questions, hit me in the comments. I'm out. Bye, everybody.